Pod Jak'd episode 23. This episode, I should say, is going to be called A Sick Act of God. It's going to be a bunch of random stuff. I know I haven't been posting much content to the channel. When you work a day job, it sucks the life out of you. And still working this day job, about 6 months in. It's okay, take it day by day. But end of the day, it's going all right. So, pretty much, sick act of God. What does that mean? As far as I go, I don't know if I'm atheist. I would say I'm agnostic. Kind of in the middle. I'm not sure. Not a religious person. My parents always say they believe in God, yet they don't go to church. But they always talk about it. But I'm not trying to bring this into a religious topic. It does apply to MGTOW in a sense that if you believe in God, and I know some of you do, then obviously you may not agree with everything, but you agree that marriage should be mostly between a man and a woman and that whole thing. Not to say you shouldn't have sex before marriage. And you obviously agree that the whole purpose of life, and it seems like whether you believe in God or not, if we have a purpose in life, it certainly is to procreate. It certainly is to keep life going. It certainly is to have sex with, if you're a guy, have sex with a woman by putting your thingy in her woo-ha, to be silly, shooting a gooba load in there, and smashing that egg and getting her pregnant. And then dealing with her cunt ass for about 9 months. And then having a baby. And maybe do it over again. And over. As many times as she allows you to. Or many times as you want. And people seem to be doing that. That's how the world, people are never going to stop fucking. But if you believe in that, there are many men out there who maybe want to have kids. Who once again have trouble even getting sex. Having trouble getting dates. Having trouble getting laid. And I forgot the dating coach. I think his name was Alan Roger Curry. But he pretty much said that it would be against God or something. He said that if you weren't attractive enough for women. He said this many years ago. He said God's given you everything that you need to pretty much attract women. Because if he didn't, it would be against God. He said something like that. And I randomly thought about this a while ago. And I was like, it's a good point. And I'm glad he brought that up. But if it is and he didn't say sick act of God. I think he said it would be against God or would be a joke against God. Well, then once again, why did your God, because I'm going to say your God, not my God, because I'm agnostic. I'm not sure what I believe in. But why did your God make men, for the most part, not attractive enough for women? Why did God make women a cunt, pretty much? Why did he make them so choosy, so picky? All the stuff we talk about in the channels. Why did he do that if pretty much the whole purpose in life, it seems, is whether you get married or not, or whether you decide to be single, or you become a single dad, or you get divorced, or whatever happens, why did your God make it that way? I don't understand. It just seems it's fucked up. That's why this title's called A Sick Act of God. It's a sick act of God, folks, that if you want to have a kid out there, you're going to have to get some women who, it seems like people make points on the black pill, to say that women want a guy that they can have kids with. They want a guy with good genes. Well, there's guys out there willing to settle with anything. Get a woman who doesn't have good genes. Get some short, fat, fucking blotchy bitch just because she's the only one who lets you put it in her. And then have kids with her. Instead of getting a woman who's decent height and decent and, smart intelligence and the kind of stuff women go for. It's kind of, once again, hypocritical. And it's also kind of like, why did God make it that way? Why did God make it so hard for men? It seemed that it wasn't too hard back in the day. If you were a nerd and you were shy and you were too nice. But even if you got over that, it seemed like women like nice guys back in the day, as we talked about on some of my live streams. And then we went from there to go into, it doesn't matter if you're nice, it doesn't matter if you're a good person. It just doesn't fucking matter. Women, for the most part, are cunts. They don't make it easy for us. You have to do all the work, and you have to beg them pretty much. And you just get sick of it as a guy. And whether guys want to go MGTOW or not, or whatever you want to call it, or the guys don't want to be incel, whatever the hell you want to call it, doesn't matter. Guys are going to have no choice to. You're going to have no choice. Only so many times you can be, like I said, humiliated, rejected, laughed at, goofed on, lied to, manipulated, at the point you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just don't want to fucking deal with women. Where's that goddamn hooker at? Let me go to a Motel 6 and get me a goddamn hooker. Yeah. So it really is just getting out of line, and it's kind of a sick act of God, it seems. If that's the purpose in life, you want me to procreate, you want me to have kids, well, stop making these women such cunts. Stop making it hard for a guy to even get a text back, or even a date, or even a call back, or anything. So you gotta beg them, kiss their ass, and pretty much you have to shovel for shit all day and go through all the poop to pretty much find a single nugget of success. And then what do? You just force yourself to have kids with the first woman who dates you? I know guys there's definitely guys out there who are doing that. I know a few guys who pretty much, they told me when they met me they just wanted to get laid, but then within a few months they just settled with a girl because they realized, well, I don't want to keep getting rejected, I don't want to keep getting, all the stuff, I don't want to get humiliated. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to settle with the first girl I meet and just go with her. Kind of like a job. You get desperate for a job sometimes. Like, look, this isn't the job that I want. It doesn't pay nowhere near what I want. The hours suck. But I need a fucking job right now. And I need money. So I'm going to take this job, and then maybe if I'm lucky when I come along, a better job will come. But then if a better job doesn't come, you're stuck with the fucking job. You're stuck with the shitty fucking job you didn't want in the first place. And I know men who are definitely doing that. 2 guys who I talked about on the channel before who laughed at me for being MGTOW. One of them got his heart broken by the girl 2 months later as she became a cunt, and she was 10 years younger than him, and she was pretty much, she was in control of the relationship. He was a cuck, and yet she broke up with him, probably found a better guy, and it was kind of like a long distance relationship kind of thing. And then the other guy, he's a cuck. He laughs at me. He calls MGTOW pretty much, he goes, oh, MGTOW's for 40-year-old virgins and stuff. But this guy's in a relationship with a girl 10 years older than him. He pretty much settled with the first girl he wanted. And he just kisses her ass, and he has to laugh at MGTOW and go, hey, what do you think about MGTOW? Josh is one of those MGTOW guys. And he has to laugh at MGTOW. But if she breaks up with him, he's going right back to his parents' house. That's right, you're going to be just like me. You're going to be 30 years old, living in your parents' house. So laugh at MGTOW if you want, but when that cunt nature comes out, boy, it's going to go right up your ass, and you're going to get it. Hey, cut that motorcycle out there. I'm trying to do a fucking podcast. 200-300 people listening to this. You fucking dirty gringo. Get out of here. Go to the border. Go get the corona. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Some people around this neighborhood are being rude. Well, anyways, this is just a random episode. I'm not going to keep going on and on. But for those of you out there who think life's whole purpose is to shoot a load in a vag and have a baby, well, your God is a sick person. Because he made these women picky, choosy, even if they're fat and disgusted, even if they're hairy, they're short, but they want a guy who's super tall. The shorter the girl, the taller the guy. They're fat, but they don't want to date fat guys. He made them such cunts that there's going to be less life on this planet. Once again, I mean, I was hanging out with this guy. I only hang out with this PUA guy, for those of you who know. I only hang out with him once in a while. When he tries to get me to do stuff, I don't do anything. But he knows about MGTOW, and he told his buddy about it, this short Hispanic guy, and he was cringing about it. And I was like, why are you cringing? He said, because eventually there's going to be no life. I said, you kidding me? People are never going to stop fucking. I mean, most guys nowadays, and women, they don't use condoms. And then pretty much, the woman just gets pregnant. It's not on purpose. It's not even like, hey, let's plan for a kid. Let's talk about a kid. It just happens. And then they don't want to get an abortion, so they just have a kid together. And some guys do that with multiple women, or they do it with the same woman, and next thing you know, so the world's never going to die off. For those of you out there who think, I got to prolong life, I got to keep having kids, I got to keep doing this. It's like, people are never going to stop fucking, and people are never going to stop having kids. But it's a sick act of God, folks. It's a sick act of God. Well, anyways, this is just a random one. Still around, guys. Haven't been posting much content on the channel, but I will be popping up once you forget about me. I'll be popping my fat, ugly head around here and there. But there's a lot of other MGTOW channels and such to listen to, so don't worry. But end of the day, thanks for listening, and I'll be around. And A sick act of God. That's right. Hey, folks. I'll see ya.